I'm Jeanette with Trade Hounds here at NECA 2025 in Chicago, and I'm sitting down with Andrea O'Connell, aka
Hi.
that Electrician Chick.
Yes,
I love your handle.
thank you.
Gosh, I have so many cool things I want to talk to you about. I'm so excited to see you again, first of all.
Thank you. Yes, it's good to see you too.
So how's your NECA going?
It was so much fun. So last year I was only able to attend for one day, and so being a part of the entire show this time was really fun. Like, it's a little overwhelming, but like the people make it so much fun to be here, just connecting with all the brands and all the other tradespeople. So yeah, it's been great.
And you are not only an electrician, but you are a social media influencer now.
Yes.
How long have you been a social media influencer?
So I started my social media my second year of apprenticeship. So I went through the first year just kind of like being quiet and learning things. And then my coworkers and the boys in my apprenticeship class were like, hey, you should start a social media. I was like, no, that's for young kids. Like, you guys, it's all you. I'm old. I don't need to be doing that in my late 30s. But they were like, no, really, like, you're good at it and it could bring opportunities for you. So I was like, okay, we'll give it a shot. So like a whole year of social mediaing, and then all of a sudden I started getting brand deal offers, and I was like, holy cow, there really is like a monetary part to this. But then you start building relationships with the brands, and the people make it so much fun. So it's like an extra job, but not really an extra job.
Did you do any kind of video stuff before that? Have you liked video? Because that's a
So
lot.
I just had like basic like photos and stuff. Like I had an Instagram, but it wasn't anything that I put into like, I wasn't like interested in being a social media person. Like, you just share what you love, you know? But then with construction, I started just sharing more of what I loved, and then all of a sudden it was just this huge thing, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, you're blowing up.
Yeah, it's fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun.
It looks so cool, and you're great at shooting too.
Thank
Your
you.
camera work, is that just you just learned it?
My iPhone.
It looks great.
I still just use my iPhone. I'm like so behind.
No. I think that's even better. Honestly, I think that's even better because we talk about that a lot because we shoot this interview, we're shooting it on cameras or different things. We have to I used to be in TV and there was huge cameras and it makes sense for that. But I think for this, we've been intentionally shooting a lot of stuff on our cell phones, even though we have expensive cameras, because it just resonates more with people who are watching it. It feels more intimate.
Right. So sometimes I use a tripod, if that, but mostly it's just in my back pocket throughout the day. If I have a moment that I'm like, hey, I could share this with people, or this could be educational, or this just might be funny, whatever, I'll just set it down, hit record, go about my day, and then I do all my editing at home. But it's also nice to work for a contractor who's supportive of this part of the industry. They know what I do and they know about my platform, and they allow me time to travel and do all this stuff. So it's really been a good thing. It's awesome. And I've grown so much faster because of social media. I think that's the part I was never expecting, is that watching other tradespeople and talking to them and having all that knowledge at my disposal on these platforms has helped me grow as a tradesperson so much faster.
I never thought about that, but actually it makes a lot of sense, because when you have to teach other people something, there is a real thing, there is a real cognitive thing that means you will learn it better when you're forced to teach someone else. So that's actually really cool.
And then the other part of it that's cool is recording myself. I get to watch myself work, which you typically don't get to do. So then I pick up on stuff that I could improve on, or that I did wrong, and I'm like, okay, I'll never do that again. I'm gonna do this differently. So it's like being an athlete. You record your games and then you watch yourself back for improvement. But I'm just doing the same thing at work, and I had no idea that that was gonna happen. So it's interesting, all the perspectives that open up.
And then because you're sharing that content, and people are not shy, I imagine, at commenting on your content.
The criticism is real, but if you can filter out the bad and just leave it at the constructive, you'll grow an insane amount faster. Being on social media, because no, people do not hold back.
I see some of the feedback. I'm like, oh, that was a really good tip. Maybe somebody wouldn't have known that they were doing something wrong, or that there could be a more efficient way of doing something had another electrician not commented, hey, have you tried this? And that is cool.
The sharing information part of these platforms is huge, because you could be in the trade for 25 years and not know a certain trick and then see it in a video and be like, well, where has that been my entire career? So
Yeah.
it happens, and it's happened, and I love that part of the industry and sharing all that information.
Has it been hard for you to like deal with the negative comments?
I think it was at first, but then when I realized like where that negativity comes from within a person and that person on the other side of the screen, it becomes less harmful to me because I'm not in a negative space like that. And I don't go attacking people like that because I'm not a negative person. So negative people attack other people, and happy people just help people grow. So I'm more or less like, if somebody says something, I'm like, I hope it haunts you in your sleep. Because I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Good.
But
Good.
you grow
It must be hard though,
thick,
I imagine.
you grow thick skin.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, you probably have to have thick skin to be as an electrician, to be one of the only women, I imagine.
Yes. So I work with 50 other electricians, all men. And in the beginning, it was a little overwhelming, but now I feel so safe on a job site because we've all built our relationships and we all watch out for each other. And so, like, I don't feel that anymore. But getting into it, I feel like women are maybe not unfairly held to a higher standard, but because women getting into the trades is so new that we're held to a higher standard because, oh, well, they got to prove themselves. It's almost like, and I don't think they mean to, but I think they're just like, not sure what to expect. So the few of us that are getting into it now have to work a little bit harder to pave the way for the women following behind us so that they don't have to deal with that skepticism of, can she do it? Is she going to quit? Will she make it? Like, yeah, we're smart enough. We do all these things. So it's kind of showing the guys that we're just capable. And then they meet a capable one. They're like, oh, well, yeah, the last one I worked with was really nice too. So then the next one doesn't have to deal with what we have to deal with.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Trailblazers.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I know a lot of other women appreciate it too. And you have kind of an interesting story because you got into the trades when you were in your 30s, right?
Yep.
And at that point, because you weren't like a young woman who was like right out of high school, you may have already been exposed to the world and kind of actually, my question for you, let me phrase this as a question. It's like, did you predict that you being a woman would have any kind of impact about you going into the electrical trade? Like, was that something you were thinking like, well, I might be interested, but like the fact that I'm a woman, like what was your thought process around that?
So being that I started in the industry as a carpenter, I had like some experience with construction, like on a smaller level. We were doing residential decks and docks and small renovation projects, but nothing, like I wasn't doing anything commercial, so I really didn't know anything about that. But how I got into electricity is I just started doing stuff at my own house. And then I was like, shoot, I'm actually like being dangerous because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just following what was there before me. And I'm like, I don't even know if this is right. And then I just was working in construction. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do carpentry and painting forever because like there's a stop, like at a certain point where I can't grow anymore as a tradesperson. I would have to go into like the business ownership side of it. And it was getting boring. I had been doing it for 4 years and I wasn't like crazy about it. And electrical just was like, I don't know, I was curious about it. So I looked up a trade school, excuse me, and ended up at Pinellas Technical in Clearwater. So did their day program, rolled into apprenticeship, and 4 years later, I don't even know how I finished. It was like, it felt like forever and no time all at the same time. Like the boys and I said that at the end, we're like, how are we done? But wow, did that feel like it took a long time.
And do you have advice for other people who are maybe considering that path? Like maybe worried about the time commitment, or maybe just don't even know, or maybe they've never even seen like another woman like themselves.
So the time passes anyways. 4 years is 4 years, no matter how you look at it. So if you have something you want to accomplish, 4 years seems like a long time, but like small bits is how you accomplish anything large. So I was just like, okay, just get through year one. Then just get through year 2. And then like the 3rd year got fun when we started doing motor controls and like really getting into like the nitty gritty of electrical. And I'm like, this is fun. So then my brain started getting more stimulated. And then you just get into year 4. Then you're excited about taking your test. Then you take your test, you're like, woohoo, we made it. So it just was like all those little milestones within the big milestone helped us all to keep going, because people do quit. Like the number of people we started with in apprenticeship was not the number of people that finished. So it happens. People figure out it's not for them, but don't let being a woman stop you. If you think you're going to be interested in it and you find joy in it, go for it. Do it.
So the first time I met you in person
Yeah.
was at the Jill of all trades event. And that is like the coolest, that was just the coolest vibe. It was so awesome to see all these young girls there. Like, talk to me a little bit about what you were doing there.
So I was able to be a mentor at the event, and they had different stations for the young ladies to go around and learn about the different trades. Obviously, I was in electrical, and the girls were able to put together like a little circuit. There was power and a light, and they were so excited like about their light. Like it's a light switch turning on, but to know that they brought it from point A to point B and that everything worked, and they were like, I did that. It was so cool just to see their little faces light up over something that, you know, I look at as, you know, maybe a simple task in my trade now, but the first time you do something like that is so empowering. Like, no, all the puns intended, actually. Like, it is empowering to be able to build something like that as a woman. And those girls in that one day did more than I learned in the first week of my trade school. So they just rocketed right into building stuff and putting their hands on it. And I was super proud of them. It was really fun.
And so did you get like any of that when you were a kid, or
No.
when were you exposed to the
So
trades?
the only thing that I was exposed to in like middle school or high school was we had wood shop still. So when I was in high school, we still had wood shop, and I took that and we built a little stool, and that was about it. Like, wasn't anything crazy. And I wasn't that type of girl when I was in high school. I was going for fashion design. I was like so far out of being a tradeswoman. That was nowhere on my radar when I was in high school. And then when I became a single mom at 32 and I was a homeowner, I'm like scrambling. Like, I didn't know how to fix my own house, and I was terrified of the future. So when I had the opportunity, just a short opportunity, I thought, to get into carpentry and maybe learn how to use some tools, it was just supposed to be for like one job, and then it ended up turning into like a few weeks and then a few months, and then it was just a few years. And learning all that made me so much more confident as a single parent, as a single mom, and being able to fix my own house and do all those things. And then it just blossomed from there.
How many kids do you have?
2.
I wonder, do you guys ever talk about, or do you ever think about like the impact that you're making on them, seeing you as a woman in this industry?
Yeah. They're so proud, and like they look at me like I'm like their superhero. But they're like, you're just our mom and we just love you. And they see how hard I work for them, because they know that what I'm doing isn't just for me, it's so that they can have a good life. So they see how hard I'm working, and it makes us all emotional that it started from such a dark place. You know, the 3 of us kind of like being alone together. Like, I mean, their dad's still around, but the 3 of us were on our own as far as like the living conditions in the home. And that's a scary spot to be when all you need, like, I could mow the lawn, but I didn't know about like fixing things and taking things apart and putting them back together. I didn't know any of that. So it was scary. And then the trades turns you into a very confident, not scared person. So I can't say enough good things about it.
And do you think they'll end up in the trades?
I think my daughter, no. My son, yes. My daughter and I have very different personalities. She's very, you know, she likes to use her mind. So she's going the finance route. But my son, no, he is a hands-on, he's going to be a blue-collar boy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's so great to like grow up around it and be
Yeah.
exposed to it. Because I think that's one of the things we talk about, the job shortage
Yeah.
a lot, because there's such a huge shortage right now and everyone's trying to think like, well, how do you encourage younger people to get in? I think that just that exposure to them seeing you doing it
Yes.
is probably playing a big role in their,
Yes.
maybe I can do it too mentality.
Yeah. And I think that me being a very feminine woman who decided to do a very masculine trade helps that younger generation see that you don't have to look a certain way or be a certain way to be a tradeswoman. You can still love all of the girly things and do all the girly things, but you just get to go to work and you put your work boots on and do some badass stuff during the day.
You're so awesome.
Thank you.
You are so cool. And I just can't thank you enough for just being
Thank
putting yourself
you.
out there
Thank you.
and showing other people like that they can do it. I think is just so, it's such a huge part of that solution. And so we'll be sharing a lot of this like on the Trade Hounds app where there are a lot of young people. And
Yes.
like, do you have anything you'd like to share with them?
Honestly, don't discount the trades. Like, and not just electrical, but plumbing, HVAC, welding. Like, you think, oh, I would never like to get dirty doing a job. Like, you think that labor is something that wouldn't be stimulating to you, but like, I have ADHD and I know that there is a huge ADHD community out there that would benefit from a hands-on career. Like, I'm happier. I'm like, I don't get bored at work. Like, the work days just go by. I get new coworkers. I get new job sites. Like, it's never the same thing over and over and over again where you're just not stimulated and you're not happy in your life. Like, the trades has brought so much happiness to my life. And I didn't think before that that would be the case. So like, push it in high school. Get your, middle school kids involved in home projects so they can put their hands on tools and stuff, like, because that's how it starts. It's early. Like, they build this image in their head once they get all the way through high school that, oh, they have to go to college and they have to do this thing in order to be successful and happy. And that's just not the case. There's so much happiness and success in the trades. So just keep your mind open.
I can't thank you enough for sitting down and sharing your story with us. And I love watching what you're doing on social media. So
Thank you.
Keep doing this,
Yes.
please, because you are really inspiring. And I just really appreciate your positivity. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.